Hey, welcome to The Bald Truth. I'm Coach Rick Colser. You're listening to the Bald Truth Leadership Podcast, the place where you get straightforward, no nonsense, no holds barred information on leadership and personal improvement. The Bald Truth Leadership Podcast is brought to you by the Peak Performance Group. I'm your host, Coach Rick, and I'm a certified executive business coach, the chief coaching officer of the Peak Performance Group, where we help people and organizations align and maximize their potential. Today, we have someone that I've gotten to know over the last few years, and I think is absolutely positively one of the funniest guys I know. And it's not just because he's a comedian, but he is one of the most accomplished guys that I know. Today, we welcome Ira Dean. And what can I say about Ira? He's a musical genius. And the bass rhythm behind the group Trick Pony, as well as an amazing songwriter, having written hits like Poor Me, Just What I Do, and There's One in Every Crowd, which I thought he was writing it about me when he wrote it. I'll let him share about what he did with that. He's been nominated for a bunch of music awards, including Grammy, AMA Top New Artist, CMA Artist of the Year with Trick Pony, and is currently writing and recording songs and running around the country, well, kind of running around the country, showcasing this talent that he has. Welcome to The Bald Truth, Ira. How you doing, brother?
Rick, what's going on, man?
Another day in paradise. Looks like we're both at home. What's going on?
Well, yeah, we're at home. This quarantine's got us locked up for a bit. I was on the road with, I was out with Aaron Lewis from Stained. He called me up to open up for him. So we started the tour, and we got about one show in. And we were heading to New York, got 30 miles outside of the gig, and the whole tour got postponed. I would say canceled, but postponed. They're rescheduling everything.
It sounds like what's happening around. It sounds like what's happening. It sounds like what's happening all around is people are just pushing things out a little bit. My gigs, my speaking gigs all got pushed to September, October. So I think it's just a pause. I think we hit the pause button. So, and just as an FYI, we're in the middle of the COVID-19 quarantine time. We have stay in place. Everyone is shelter in place all around the country now. So Ira graciously agreed to do this via Zoom, have a little fun with us. He's up in Tennessee on your ranch up in Tennessee. I'm here at the K2 Ranch here in Keller, Texas. So let's start off. Let's see, where do we start? Let's talk about how do we meet from your perspective? I have mine. What do you remember?
I remember a Christmas party. Was it the Christmas party or was it before that?
I think it was Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Diamond Dallas Page was going into the Hall of Fame. And it was a Hall of Fame dinner, wasn't it?
Yep. It was, yeah.
I don't even remember what. It was in Orlando?
Yeah, Orlando. So here's what I remember. We were out by the pool.
I got like 4 brain cells left, and you're asking me. Orlando? Remember.
Yeah. We were sitting at the pool, and we're with all the crew, right? And I say, here comes this long-haired, hippie-looking dude. It's like, who's this guy? And I say, he's a friend of Dallas. He's got to be okay. And I had no clue. I didn't know who you were, just another hanger-oner, so to speak. Come to find out, you're a rock star, literally, in your own right. So it's kind of cool.
It all comes back to me now. Yeah, Poolside Orlando. Dally was getting into the WWE Hall of Fame. We were hanging out poolside. And, God, the friendship just built from there.
Yeah, it did. And, we've continued on and we've stayed in touch. And, just it's good when you can find just a regular guy. And Ira is one of those guys who's just a regular guy. He's very successful. He's been really good at what he does. And it's nice to know people that are good at what they do, but still hold true to who they are. That's one of the tenets of my coaching practice is be true to who you are. Be excellent, but be true to who you are. So let's talk about you. I want to hear about you, more about you, because these people hear about me every time I get on the air. How did you get started in the music industry?
Well, growing up in my family, you had to play an instrument. My dad was a guitar player.
Okay.
So my brother was a guitar player. My dad was a guitar player. Growing up, we had like family shows. And so I think the first time I remember like playing there's a picture of me like being 3 or 4 years old, singing into a Brute bottle on the coffee table. Like the coffee table was my stage. It went on from there, my dad bought me a guitar, but my hands were too small. So he bought me a bass, and I didn't dig that. And I ended up playing drums. I got some drums, started playing drums. And then there was a talent contest at this bar called Kane's Bar in Minneapolis, where we were living at the time. And my mom and dad were divorced by then. So my dad picked me up and brought me to this bar at 12. And I ended up winning the contest. And next thing you know, I'm playing bars 6 nights a week since I was 12.
Well, that's all. I mean, so musical family. So you've got a
Yeah.
history, and you just took that talent on it. So as you do that, I guess what gets me interested, I'm sure people want to hear about, is as you win your first contest at 12 years old. Holy smokes! And then that journey that got you to Nashville, got you to the top. I mean, you talk about you've won a Grammy. There are not that many people in the world that have won Grammys and been a top new artist. What do you think was the mindset?
I lost the Grammy to the Dixie Chicks, but I was nominated. I won the ACM, lost the Grammy.
Oh, okay. So that's right. You were nominated for, but I mean, still in all, to be in that same category is amazing.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. I moved to Nashville when I was 19 or 20. Ran into this kid. I call him a kid. He was like a year younger than me. And he moved me into his house because I couldn't afford rent no more. And it happened to be Johnny Cash's son, John Carter. And John Carter still lived with Johnny and June. So I lived with Johnny and June, and then Big John took me under his wing, and I sang with the Carter family since I was, 19. Sang with the Carter family on 2 songs on Johnny Cash's record when I was 19. And Johnny just took me under. Everything just kept rolling and rolling,
See, I think that's one of the things that we find. We're all about leadership and what we do and how we make things happen in our lives here at the Bald Truth. So I think it's relationships. One of the big things we have is, how do you build those relationships? You talk about you and I, how we built ours. We treated each other with respect, honored each other, and then we move on and say, okay, what's the next step? Same thing as how I met Dallas. I mean, our natural connection is Dallas, but at the same time, he and I met when we were 20, 21, 22 years old. We've known each other that long, and he's a lot older than I am. Don't let him hear you say that.
Well, he's a good. I mean, since we're talking about relationships, me and Dally met at a celebrity golf tournament. God, it had to been, Trick Pony was at its peak. I remember he says we came in on a helicopter and landed in the middle of a ball field. I don't remember. I was kind of crazy back then, but that had to be 1999 or 2000, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, and that's the peak. Both of you guys were just really rocking up at that point. Yeah. So what do you think it was that took you to the top, the hits, the awards, and what did you learn along that way? In a quick 5-minute little dissertation, is what was it that got you there?
God, it's I tell you, it's a lot of things, but the one thing I think was just a guy named Chuck Howard. He was a producer. He produced Hank Williams Jr., a lot of guys. Anyways, he heard Trick Pony, and he signed us. It was just one guy that believed in us. If I go back to the beginning of my career, my dad believed in me. It was one person. He brought me to Nashville, and then Johnny Cash believed in me, which opened up a lot of doors. And then a guy named Chuck Howard believed in me. It seemed like it only took believed in you. That was that could a mover and a shaker that could call some people. And he called Warner Brothers Records. He cut some songs on us, and then that took. I mean, we went from riding around in a van and trailer, playing for 300 and 400 people, to all of a sudden doing award shows, and then we were on the Brooks and Dunn tour playing for 17,000, 18,000 people a night, and having #1 hits and that it just takes one person that believes in you, that'll like throw his wallet on the table and go, here you go, I'm in, what are we going to do?
That's from a leadership perspective, which is where, like I said, we're all about leadership. It's about who believes in you. I have one guy who believed in me. I was in the bar business. That's where I started my career. Ran bars and nightclubs for years, and I had to get out. Just, at 30 something years old, I was partying a little bit too hard, having too much fun. You get that.
Oh yeah.
And one guy, a guy named Glenn, he believed in me. He says, "I'll give you a sales job. I'll try you out." And I ended up running part of the country out of the corporate office for Fox Sports Direct. So, and again, he's been on the podcast, and that's why I think it's from a leadership perspective. If you're a leader, who do you want to believe in? Who can you believe in? And how can you lift somebody up as a servant leader and say, okay, Iris had a couple really good people. Number one, your dad believing in you. Johnny Cash, that's not a bad guy to have believe in you, right? Yeah. And then going from that, you end up going, okay, who else down there? Now the question is who can you believe in? How do you pass that on today from a generosity perspective? How do you give that back?
Oh yeah, you always got to pass it forward. There's some cats I try to help out. I own a studio here in Nashville, and I have an open door policy with if I find somebody I really dig, I'll cut sides on them. Of course, it's a different game now. It used to be like you could walk into any record label. Before 2000, you could walk into any record label and throw something on the table and go, check this out. And people would, either say that's awesome or they pass. And nowadays it's, the game's changed. It's social media numbers and, how many likes and how many followers. And it's the game's really changed. So, but
I agree. Yeah.
If I find the right person, I'm passing it forward. I try to write with cats that have never had cuts before and try to, of course I got to bring something to the table. I got to believe in them,
Sure.
I'm just not somebody and go, let's do it.
Well, and that makes sense. I have a friend. I've done a lot of charity work for our military over the years. And we had this one guy, Matt Snook, and great guy. He actually got on The Voice, but what he told me, he says he would just show up and bring a guitar. And he says, you can walk down the street in Nashville. This is 10 years ago. And you could just walk into a bar and say, hey, can I mind if I play? And most people would say, if you're got balls enough to say, can I play? They'll say, here, try it. Yeah. But now it's like this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different game, but I mean, right people, the door's still open. So
yeah, that's cool. So when you're sitting there, I know as we are quarantined right now, as we sit here, what kind of things do you do? Now, I know you've been told no a lot.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
So how do you handle those negative Nellies, or what's the mindset? What do you do to keep your mindsets on the positive side?
Man, oh God. I guess it's just you got to get some thick skin. I mean, Trick Pony was turned down by every record label in town. We had 7 no's, and I'll never forget. My dad would say that's one more no closer to a yes.
Yep.
Just remind, that's all people, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one and everybody wants to say no. And you just keep pushing forward. If you really believe in something, you just keep going. I mean, hell, David Lee Murphy just had a #1 duet with Kenny Chesney, and David Lee Murphy's got to be almost 60 years old now. I mean, who would have thunk a old man would have a #1 song in country music? I mean, and that's David Lee Murphy's one of my buddies. We've had a lot of hits together. We've had a lot of songs cut. We've written a lot of songs together. And I called him up all the time, man, when I'm beating myself up. And he's like, hey, man, there's ups and there's downs, man. You just gotta keep going forward. And I was like, all right. So it's good to have friends that you've been in the trenches with. So
well, and that's a great point, is have those people that will lift you up to help you when you have those down days.
Yeah.
When you do that. And as leaders, we're tasked with keeping our people, because right now we're in the midst of this virus, this quarantine. I know my family's personally affected. My son-in-law, he's unemployed right now. I got to keep calling him up saying, Des, here, who do you know? I reached out for a guy to get him a job, part-time job right now. So, how can we be good leaders and I love your point, is be someone that's a positive voice in someone else's life and lift others up and believe in others and to let them know that.
Yeah.
That's some good
God,
stuff.
yeah.
So, all right. So this is a competitive industry that you're in. I mean, you're in a really competitive industry and it's pretty cutthroat, right?
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding? Is it
No.
cutthroat? Yeah, yeah. It's getting even more cutthroat. I mean, there's only so many songs that people can cut. There's only so many places you can play. There's only so many spots on the radio stations. So yeah, it's cutthroat, and you better have some thick skin.
And I think you're right. You nailed it. We've changed from how good's your music to, where we listen on the radio to now it's how many likes do you get, how many followers do you like, what kind of stupid crap do you do to get that attention? And we're all doing
God,
it.
yeah.
I mean, this is,
Oh yeah.
this is the life. We all have to do it. So as you go through that and the thick skin, all of that there is, who do you surround yourself with? So for you, what kind of people do you want to surround yourself with? Understanding that we're all quarantined right now, but when you can surround yourself with people, what do you look for?
Right now, I surround myself with a 4-pound chihuahua. This is what I surround myself with. But hey, bud. I try to surround myself with people that I respect. I try to play up. I don't want to play down. I surround myself with cats that are more talented than me, that are guys that outwrite me, guys that outplay me, guys that outsing me, guys that are just positive thinkers. I try not to surround myself with, I call them, I guess I call them juju tampons. Those people that just suck out all the good juju in the room. They just,
okay.
I try to get those guys away from me. And I just want positive people around me and guys that can really play and really bring something to the table. I learned that from Mel Tillis. He said he always hired people that brought something to the table in his bands. And I try to hang out with cats that I take away, that I go home at night and take away something. I'm like, God dang, did you hear what he said right there? I got to apply that to my life.
Well, and that's interesting because we always think of athletes. A lot of athletes say, play with someone better than you. And, rest his soul, Kobe, everybody wanted to play with Kobe because he was always stretching his game. And he always wanted to play with guys that would make him stretch out of his game, get out of his comfort zone. And it's interesting how it crosses industries from music. And even for me, I want to hang around with coaches that are better than me. I want to hang around with speakers. I go, I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. And there are some really good guys out there that are professional, that can nail a speech from a platform. And that's a skill. And I want to hang around with those guys that, as you know, as a performer, it's kind of the same thing, except I'm using words, not music. I want to listen to what they do. I want to watch what they do. I want to study them. And, sometimes you have to emulate a little bit without stealing their shit.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
But
positive people are everything. Why do you think I called Dally in the middle of the night, Dallas? Dallas is probably the most positive dude I know.
I know.
A barrel of peckers and come out with a nipple in his mouth. He just always starts smelling like a rose. And so I always call him, man. If I'm feeling bad and, I'm not always on my game. There's days I wake up and go, this bullshit, man. I don't want to deal with this. And I call Dally and, man, he's positively page. And
well, that's something we were talking to in my coaching group, our trusted advisors group. We had a conference call yesterday, and we're talking about what can we do for our clients? How do we help them right now? Because everybody's scared. The world is full of negative Nellies. We know it. It's just part of what it is. Everybody's like, oh, the world's coming to an end, or they're gonna find a turd in the punch bowl, or be the turd in the punch bowl. Is how do we reach out? So we're doing some interesting things from our perspective, from a business side. Is I've said I'm giving today. I've decided during this time I'm going to give. So if anybody wants a 30-minute coaching call, they want to talk, they want to just, hey, I need a little uplifting something, we're going to give it to them. And we're putting it out, and we're going to start doing more Zoom calls, start doing some things. Just put out 30 minutes a day. You can log in, and you can get some positive encouragement from maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 50 people, because we're all going through this together. And I think together we can really help each other through this particular challenge, but also don't stop. That's the thing I think we have to do, is not stop this, keep going. So,
Yeah.
So, all right. So I want to hear about some of the fun stuff. So, because I opened this up with saying you were one of the funniest guys I met.
Yeah, I know. And when people say that, then I'm screwed. It's just like, it's a death. He's the funniest guy. Get on there. I'm like, hey, what's up? Shit. What am I up to? Right now, just sitting in my freaking house.
Okay.
Just chilling, waiting for it, It's really weird. This is the first time ever, like in recessions, people drink more, they go to bars more, they go to shows more. This is the first time that we've been, like, the music industry's been shut down, like, totally.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Nothing.
It's crazy. I mean, although in Texas, they now do have, liquor delivery now, and, drive-through margaritas at Joe T's down in Fort Worth, which is kind of crazy. Buy a gallon. It's nuts.
Just open up my phone number and I show up to your house like a freaking mariachi band and just play in your living room or something, because I'm going batshit crazy. But it's 14 days. I've actually been in my house 12 days now.
Okay.
Got a thing yesterday for 14 more days. So shit, it's all good. It's all chicken.
So one of the things I saw is you get on social media and you do the daily update, Ira's daily update. Having a little fun with that.
Oh God, yeah.
It looks like it. So if you're on social media, you're on Facebook, look up Ira. He's got some fun stuff he's doing. The daily update from. I love the hat, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. I got that the other day in the mail.
Yeah, and
by a fan.
Oh, cool. So check out Ira on Facebook, social media, and all the stuff that he's doing. And one of the things that you wrote last week, I think it was a tribute to Kenny Rogers, who just passed away a couple of days ago. Tell us a story when you met Kenny Rogers at the award show.
Okay, so my mom and dad got divorced when I was a little kid, and my mom had the hugest crush on Kenny Rogers and Neil Diamond. So all I heard was like Sweet Caroline and The Gambler all the freaking time growing up. That's all I heard. And my mom went to all the Kenny Rogers shows, and she had the T-shirt, she had the posters, all that shit. And so lo and behold, Trick Pony hits, and we go to this radio station in Chattanooga, and it was called the WFR, whatever. The Frog was the radio station, and so they have these awards called the Froggy Awards, which is kind of cheesy, but it was funny. So we go to the Froggy Awards in Knoxville or Chattanooga. I think it's Knoxville. And lo and behold, we get a Froggy Award for Best New Act or whatever. And Kenny Rogers is in the audience. And I've never met Kenny. And so I got my Froggy Award. And over the microphone, I said, man, and he's there with his wife. And I might have had a few cocktails. And I am so honored to have that. And Kenny's in the front row. And I got to tell you, and I went the whole story about my mom playing Kenny Rogers records. I said, thank God my mom's not here. She would dry hump his leg right where he stands. And he fell over laughing, and his wife kind of giggled, but she wasn't happy. And there's a lot of great, it's the first time I met Reba McEntire. I had a huge, Reba McEntire came out when I was like 12, 13 years old. And we won the ACM that year, and Reba came up to me with her husband Narvel, and she's like, I just love your band. And I said, you have no idea, when you first came out, you have no idea how many times I held your picture up with one hand. And she was like, oh my God. It was like, it came out during puberty for me. So yeah, I held her picture up with one hand many nights.
Okay. Now there's some good, now that's some good stuff right there. I'm sure it goes on and on. We're done. So
Yeah.
we're getting close time here. So I want to be, be good with you. What are you promoting? You got anything you want to promote? Concerts, gigs, shout out to anybody you want to talk about? And then we're going to jump into the bald truth questions.
Okay. Well, I want to shout out to my boy, Aaron Lewis from Stained. We're on the road together this year. Tours will kick back up after this hiatus we're going through. We'll make up all the shows in New York and Colorado, and we're all over the United States. So thanks, Aaron, for taking a gamble on an old dude like me open up your shows again. Go to my Instagram, Ira Dean Bass, BASS, bass guitar or bass the fish, Ira Dean Bass, and Instagram, and just follow me. And then go to iTunes, check out my music, and catch me on the road. That's all I'm promoting.
It's got some good music, folks. Check them out. iTunes, Spotify, any of them. So do that. It's fun stuff. When you come to Fort Worth, we definitely got to hook up when you make it to Fort Worth. So
sure, we'll play Billy Bob's down there.
Oh man, I'm just down the road. So okay, so now every time everybody's got to go through this. The bald truth questions. Coach Rick's bald truth questions. So here's one. You're having a dinner party and you get to, it's for 6 people, and you get to invite 5 because you're one of the 6. What 5 people do you invite, and why do you invite them?
Okay, I would have my dad, Jesus Christ, Johnny Cash, Charlie Parker, and John Lennon.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I see the big John Lennon in the background. Cool, very cool. So now,
maybe have an extra one.
Okay, very cool. All right, so an article's being written about you after you're gone. We all know we have expiration date. So when you're gone, an article's being written about you. What's the title? Just the headline.
The boy sure could play.
Nice.
That's
very nice. Good. And
edition. So yeah.
Okay. So now every morning, something for our folks that are listening. What do you do to set yourself up for a good day, for a successful day? What things you do in the morning that gets you ready for a good day?
Ready for a good day. I pep talk myself in the shower. I talk to myself in the shower, which is crazy, but it works. Because I could be really a pessimistic person if I wanted to be, but I just don't want to be. I have a prayer. I'm going to say this is going to be a good day. And lots of caffeine.
Okay, that's good enough.
Talk to myself in the shower and talk to God.
Amen. Good. Excellent. So, well, folks, I want to thank you, Ira, man. This has been a blast. I've had a lot of fun with this, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Anytime. I'd probably be funnier if I wasn't holding up my damn phone this whole time.
Probably. Next time we'll do it different. We'll have you back for sure. All right, folks. Yeah, good. All right, folks. This has been The Bald Truth with Coach Rick of the Peak Performance Group, the company that helps people and organizations reach their potential. If you're looking for a way to grow your organization, whether it's sales or strategic direction, the Peak Performance Group, our coaches can help you grow with our proven acceleration process. Call us at 817-748-7425 or visit www.mypotentialplus.com and we'll connect you with the right coach. Folks, I just appreciate Ira being here. We're rocking the house here, having a little fun. We're going to be out here. I'm going to check in on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Listen to us. This is Coach Rick, and you know what, folks? This is The Bald Truth.